Okay, yeah. I guess you could turn it on.
Oh, it's on?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Well, hello everyone. So I'm Dri Venhansky with Ukrainian Self-Reliance Michigan Credit Union, and we're with Serhiy from NewLayer.
Yes.
I'm a car guy, so this is kind of a dream. So what we want to do is, this show, this segment for us is really, we want to inspire our community. We bank Ukrainian Americans, and we definitely work with small business owners like yourself, right? And we often receive a lot of questions. People have this kind of negative connotation about business, about risk, about lending. Today we want to take things much deeper and really know your story. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how all of this kind of came to be.
I'm originally from a small town in Ukraine, Chernivtsi. I moved here probably 15 years ago, 13 years ago or so. My mom won a green card, and basically the whole family moved here. And the thing that got me into this business is basically it was lack of work. I couldn't find any good jobs. I've done it all. I work as a janitor in stores and offices. I mean, basically every job Ukrainian immigrant can do it, at the very beginning. And then a friend of mine who's actually from Ukraine, he opened up his own shop like this, well, bigger and cooler. And I kind of look at his journey, his success, and I called him up and I was like, so how hard is it? Like, can you can I try this? And he was like, I wish he was honest with me, but he was like, it's very easy, you got it. And then I was like, yeah, let's go. But the whole journey actually wasn't that easy. It's my second attempt in business. My first shop failed drastically, and then, I just got into this because I couldn't find work, but I kind of fell in love with the process. Never really become a car person in general. I'm still look at this as an art. I still look at every car as a canvas.
Do you remember the first car that you worked on?
It was my own car at that time, the old Nissan Altima, like 2009, or it was a horrible job. The first car I tried, I didn't even have the shop, and we don't have garage. In my parents' house, in Hampton, they don't have garage. So my mom was cleaning up house of this one lady, and she asked her, like, can we use your garage? My son has this crazy idea, and she agreed. That's so weird now. Like, you're looking back at this, it's like you're asking some random lady, that's your mom cleaning her house, like if you can use her dress, like it's crazy. But we did. It was middle of the winter. It was cold. I put it on. It was horrible. I was super excited, and then without any experience, I just had savings. I went up and leased my first shop. It didn't go well at all. Like, I was barely paying bills. It was disaster.
So you're failing, right? What was it about this particular business that sort of, got you kind of through that period into, okay, I'm gonna do this?
Well, I did stop for a while. So after my first attempt in business failed, I worked in other shops. I would work in one shop full time, and then I would go after work, pull up to my next shop at 5:30 exact, and then I would work until midnight. It was like this for about a year or two. It was very, very tough. At some point, I remember I was driving home on the freeway. It was like middle of the night or something, and then I fell asleep while driving, and then I wake up. I'm like driving like kind of sideways, and I'm like, oh my god, this is it. So I somehow got back on the road. I parked it. I kind of was super stressed, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, I have to slow down a bit. So I decided to try this again. They open up another business. It still wasn't easy, because the main problem when you move to States and immigrant and you try to open any businesses, you have zero connections at all.
So obviously the initial group that you're born with, or that you grow up here, that really has some value in whatever you want to do. Another key thing that you said is you just didn't give up. life teaches you, right? And normally when you are challenged, when you think you're failing, that's when you're growing. So you started again, a couple of months, your wife, Alicia, right? So she jumps in with you, your brother jumps in with you. What did you do to promote what you were doing?
Well, very beginning, it was we had no work at all, so I would still work as a subcontractor for other shops. Some people would see that work and then they would ask who did the job, and just my name got out there somehow. My first few jobs, they kind of put me on the map. I was walking by this BMW on the parking lot and I had my business card with me. I left it at the window and this guy called me up and I was like, this is crazy. This guy called me up. He worked at this auto shop. Like they do some mechanic work or something. I stopped by, we talked, and the owner of that mechanic shop had this older Lamborghini Gallardo or something. And he was like, I always want to wrap this in orange. I was like, let's do this. I gave him a good deal and I wrapped that car, and that car kind of I got a bit more attention.
So obviously you mentioned a few times that you had savings and then you put it into something. You had savings, you put it into something. You also mentioned sacrifice. And how do you manage your personal finances while obviously building a business?
I save a lot. Like I don't have any fancy watches. We still, to this day, we have one car. We live in an apartment, and then because we work together, we can save money. We don't buy anything that's not necessary. But you still have to have like a general goal. Like generally, okay, do you want to grow a business? Yes. Then you have to put money into it. You have to risk. The only thing we ever fight about is basically working too much, like work-life balance. That's very hard to achieve. Like obviously Alicia is trying to have me work less, take some days off, and I'm pushing back, and we always have to come up with a plan, with a solution for any of this.
Як вам працювати в такій чоловічій роботі?
Мені подобається, я люблю чоловічу компанію, мені з ними просто і легко. І насправді в цій сфері дуже багато жінок працюють, саме інсталюють фільм. І, взагалі, з чоловіками починають свій бізнес.
Чи варто інвестувати в власний бізнес в США?
100% так, без інвестицій нічого не буде. І я рахую, якщо ти починаєш свій бізнес, перші декілька років це лише інвестиції, і тільки згодом ти починаєш пожинати ті плоди, які ти до того.
Що б ви сказали собі 10 років тому?
10 років тому, це якраз 10 років тому, як я переїхала в Сполучені Штати, і однозначно сказала би, іди і шукай, що тобі подобається, і роби сама для себе, відкривай бізнес, починай щось, не слухай нікого, і головне знайти ідею.
You spend, I don't know, have a couple dozen nights in the shop. We worked through the whole night many times to finish some projects or to have stuff done on time. Same thing with Mike. My brother, he's here with me now more than anyone else. We stay late if anything needs to be done.
What was it like, getting a loan? Did you only look at us? Did you call anybody else? Was it really that scary? Any kind of feedback, lessons learned that you can answer?
I was worried, of course. In the States, you cannot build a business without a good loan. It's like, because if you just save money, you're going to pay a lot of taxes if you don't spend them. So it's very close loop. In States, they kind of force you to get a loan. And I gotta admit, there's something I have to admit, I didn't look at you guys first, simply because I have a bank account with one of the big, American banks, and they declined me. And I was extremely surprised because my papers was on point. I never had any bad year at all. It was just better or worse, but I was never losing money at all. I mean, it was always profit. So passed on those guys. I tried another big name bank, and they also passed on me. My dad was like, well, you should try Ukrainian one. And gotta admit, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know why, I was skeptical. Like,
No, it's okay.
you always think the bigger name would be more helpful. And I was like, well, if the big name would not approve me, then probably smaller banks would not even look your way because it's risky for them. But the thing that extremely important, not only I'm very grateful you guys approved me, but it's just how easy you guys make this process in general. No, when you go to bigger names, it's so corporate. Like they talk to you like you've been like, I don't work in banking. Like I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what's the rates, what's the conditions, what's this and that. Like no one explained me anything at all. I was like, I don't even understand this in Ukrainian, let alone in English. It's like you have to slow down. With you guys, I message Brian in the middle of the night. I was like, I message him on the weekends. And
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. And then just the way you guys make me feel very welcomed and how you explain everything. How he was like, if I was asking stupidest questions possible. It's like, what's this? What's this? And then you were very helpful. Never felt me feel kind of dumb or something. So. A lot of help from you guys. I couldn't be happier. I mean, like, honest, I know it sounds like I'm trying to sell you guys this, but I'm not.
Thank you. What do you say to that person that has probably a decent living? They don't have a lot of expenses. They have some customers, maybe just Ukrainian or in their community that they know. Why take that leap like you did? Like, what would you tell them? Is it scary? Is it unknown? Are there mistakes going to be made? But like, what advice like would you tell them?
If you want to make more money, like it all comes to the money in general. Like I love what I do. I love what we do in general. I love this whole journey of business. I could have stayed in this smaller shop. It was very affordable lease. I can be just there by myself or just with my brother Mike, and we probably would get along. We probably have a decent salary, whatever. But then if you want to make more money, you have to risk, and then you have to grow. And it is extremely hard at the beginning, but it's also very, very rewarding. It's like, for sure, once you see a progress, you see your bank account, you see how your name gets out there. I drained my bank account several times, and now I'm also in the debt. So like we'll see. But it all comes. If you want to grow, you have to risk. I believe with Ukrainians specifically, it comes as mentality. From back home, we always think that in order to run the business, you have to. Well, now it's different. But like back in the day when I was 15 years ago, back in Ukraine, you have to bribe someone. You have to bribe certain departments. It's not like this in States. Like in States, it's very simple. You lease a shop, or you buy a shop or office, and then you pay the bills, and then that's pretty much it. There is nothing to it. I don't believe you can have a good business from your house. It's like if I would be American, I don't think I would buy something from someone's basement at that point. You can grow a business within the Ukrainian community probably, but then if you want to go to the next level, most Americans would not go to houses. Like they expect the business to have a location.
And then last question, the canvas. So you in the beginning of the interview, you had talked about sort of you look at this as art, and every project, every car is sort of like an empty canvas. So let's say in the past couple of years, what's the canvas? What was the car?
It was the recent one. It was about probably less than a year ago. It was a Lamborghini Countach, a new one. They only made 111 of those cars. Only 110 went to sale, and it's $2.6 million car. That client was a big client to us. He single-handedly probably sponsored a good chunk of this building.
Thank you.
He does. He did spend a lot of money with us. Extremely picky client, but he the one who can appreciate quality. And the cool part is that once the car is done, he took this car. We shipped the car to his state, and with other installer or other shops saw the car and they posted it on one of the like this professional, this group that we do have, and they said that was the best job they ever seen ever in their entire life. And then
Wow.
it was like it's
That's
very
pretty cool.
very rewarding to see other professionals in this business to see your work, and then like and they're like, and we've never seen anything even close to
If
this.
somebody wants to support you, work with you, hire you, right? Your company, New Layer, how do they reach out to you? Is it website, email?
Ideally, I would love if anyone follow us on Instagram and Facebook. It's New Layer Customs over on Instagram and Facebook.
Sahi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing story.
I do appreciate the help with everything.
you.
All of you. I wouldn't done this without you guys.